Tonight, a floor crossing that is shaking up the political landscape.
What Pierre Poilievre has to do is start winning.
Reaction continues after Michael Mock crosses the floor as Pierre Poilievre prepares for a leadership review. During the final week of CTV and Move 100's Toy Mountain campaign, a notable figure steps up with support.
Very exciting. It was super cool to have the Prime Minister in our home away from home.
Prime Minister Mark Carney touring a fire station in his Ottawa riding, dropping off toys for the festive fundraiser. And saving a buck around the holidays.
With the economy how it is, it's good to kind of save money and keep the family together and have something to do.
The Canada Strong Pass returns for families, offering discounts and free admission to museums. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a notable donation this morning to CTV and Move 100's Toy Mountain campaign. Prime Minister Mark Carney stopping by an Ottawa fire station in his riding to drop off some toys today. CTV's Natalie Van Roy is live with more on the continued push to ensure every child in our city gets a gift on Christmas morning. Natalie.
Well, Austin, the toy drop-off comes at a time when donations are needed more than ever. The CTV and Move 100's toy campaign entering its final week. Prime Minister Mark Carney and his wife Diana Fox Carney making a special donation to those in need.
Instead of doing Secret Santa, we did Secret Santa.
Gifts for CTV and Move 100's Toy Mountain campaign.
We're dropping off toys from their team who had a Secret Santa and wanted to make sure that every child in their riding had a toy under the tree this Christmas.
Carney touring the Ottawa fire station in his riding on Green Bank Road, where he spoke with firefighters.
Very exciting. It was super cool to have the Prime Minister in our home away from home.
The donation comes during the final stretch of the Toy Mountain campaign. Drop-offs are accepted until December 19th. The demand higher than ever.
The numbers are up from where they were last year at this time, and so we expect to again serve more children and families in need this holiday season. Anywhere from 7,000 to 8,000 families.
Bring them down to...
Firefighter Cameron Taylor says the community has been generous so far.
We had the two parades, and the community brought together over 3,500 toys, and we're still counting. We're on our way to 5,000 already. We're over $45,000 of cash collected.
But with Christmas around the corner, the need is great.
As we think about some of the economics that people are facing, the rising cost of living, food, gas, all of those things are contributing to the challenges that people are facing, needing to make that dollar stretch from the beginning to the end of the month.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The campaign supports a wide range of ages, from newborns to children up to 12 years old. Toys collected here to make sure everyone has a gift under the tree this holiday season. And there's also the option to donate online. The Salvation Army says they've now surpassed $100,000 in online donations. You can head to ctvnewsottawa.ca for more on how you can donate through the link. Austin.
Natalie, thank you very much for this. Tonight, well, the roads are far from ideal this evening after nearly a full day of snowfall here in the capital. Going to take a live look at the highways this hour. There are some slowdowns. No major backups right now. It does appear that there are some slowdowns around Woodruff on the 417 that you can see there. So if you are out on the roads, obviously give yourself plenty of time because they are rather slick. The snowfall seems to have subsided for now, but again, definitely something that you are going to be wanting to be aware of if you do have to make that commute. And Ontario Provincial Police say a 19-year-old from Pembroke is facing impaired driving charges after a collision shortly after midnight that seriously injured 3 people. 7 people in total were inside the vehicle at the time when police say it crashed into a rock on Whitewater Road near Highway 17. All of the passengers were between 16 and 21 years old. And as we take our first look at the weather forecast, what to expect here, we did record about 8 centimeters of snow. That was by around 5 p.m. on the Gatineau side, and there is about a 40% chance of flurries continuing overnight, amounting about 2 centimeters. Good news for those white Christmas hopefuls, and great news for the Rideau Canal. The snow, it helps, but more so the freezing temperatures in the overnight hours. How early will the Rideau Canal open this year? Well, the earliest it's ever opened was on December 18th. That was in 1972, and again in 1981. Most recently in December, it opened on December 30th in 2018. This year, we are still waiting, but again, we need those sustained lows in the negative double digits to open the canal skateway, and I know a lot of people will be waiting and hoping for that, and we do have some sustained lows coming up here. Right now, it is just -4 degrees, but getting down to -14 tonight in the nation's capital, -12 in Kingston, a little bit more in the way of snowfall there, -16 in Bancroft, -19 in Kittigan-Zibi and Pembroke, and Petawawa and Maniwaki. Same with Gatineau as well. Parts of Gatineau at -19 tonight. So extremely cold across the region again with the snow that is already on the ground, plus those deep freezing conditions. It'll be tough for city crews to stay on top of those roadways, making for some dangerous driving conditions. Tomorrow's high just -10 degrees here in Ottawa, -9 in Gatineau, but a break from the snow, and we are expecting some mostly sunny conditions. Well, hundreds of tow trucks, including some from Ottawa, could be seen driving in a line down Highway 401 this morning, coming together for a memorial procession in honor of a fellow operator killed on the highway earlier this month. As CTV's Colton Weens reports, Ontario tow truck operators are now reminding the public to slow down and move over for those working along the roads.
Right here by
Around 250 to 300 tow truck operators gathered in Kitchener Saturday morning for a memorial procession in honor of a 42-year-old tow truck operator from Kitchener that was killed on Highway 401.
We're going to travel down the route that operator took today. We're going to head from Kitchener all the way down to Woodstock. Some are going to follow on to London, just as a rite of respect for this driver and to promote the awareness of slow down and move over for the motoring public.
The driver was killed when he was hit by a passing vehicle just after 7 in the morning near Oxford Road 3 on December 3rd.
We're here to show support for the family, friends of a fallen comrade. As you can see by the turnout, the towing industry is tight-knit when it comes to these kind of tragedies.
Operators from as far as Ottawa and Sarnia participated in the procession, starting at Gateway Park Drive in Kitchener and heading straight to the 401.
In the past, we've had one for the owner of Active Towing. We had one for a driver of Becker Brothers, but neither one of them was lost in the line of duty. And this is probably the biggest one we've had.
And while the tow truck operators are driving on the highway, they are driving at highway speed, saying they're not trying to slow traffic down, but just trying to raise awareness.
The MTO, OPP, everybody's involved in this. MTO has been gracious, and they've put on some slow down and move over on their signs on the highways. We really need to get the motoring public to understand that we're out there. We just need that space to work.
By law, drivers in Ontario must slow down and move over a lane if it is safe to do so when they're approaching an emergency vehicle or tow truck with its lights flashing. Vanden Heuvel says many drivers still don't do that on the highway.
There's not a single operator that wouldn't tell you they've had a close call out on these highways.
Ontario Provincial Police did not provide a traffic escort, but were closely monitoring the procession. A vehicle of interest in relation to the fatal crash on December 3rd has been located, but police have not released any updates. Vanden Heuvel says the name of the 42-year-old man that was killed has been circulating online, but his family has asked that his name not be shared for now. Saturday's procession done as a rite of respect and with hopes of reminding everyone on the road to give each other space and to be safe. Colton Weens, CTV News, Kitchener.
One person was airlifted to hospital following a two-vehicle collision in Bonnechere Valley yesterday. It happened near Killaloe at the intersection of Foy Mount Road and Sebastopol Drive at around noon. Ontario Provincial Police say a 34-year-old driver of one of those vehicles was extricated from a van and airlifted by Air Orange to a trauma center with serious injuries. The other driver, a 53-year-old woman, was also injured and she was taken to hospital. Anyone who may have witnessed the crash is now asked to contact police. Or for the second time in just over a month, a Conservative MP is leaving Pierre Poilievre's party for Mark Carney's government. The Liberals say it's an indictment of Poilievre's leadership, which is set to face a confidence test in January. But as CTV's Colton Prale reports, Conservative insiders say the party leader is likely safe for now.
Bearing gifts for a holiday fundraiser, the Prime Minister is celebrating his own early Christmas present. Another Conservative MP crossing the floor to join the Liberals, as the party, which now sits one seat shy of a majority, hints there are more dissatisfied Conservatives.
You've seen two to date. There are others, that is for sure.
Michael Ma is the third Conservative MP to announce their departure from Pierre Poilievre's party in the past month.
What Pierre Poilievre has to do is start winning. He lost the election itself. He lost his own seat in the election, and as he's come to the House of Commons, he's lost the policy agenda.
New polling from Angus Reid shows most Conservatives still want Pierre Poilievre to lead the party into the next election. But that number is down 10 percentage points since this summer, when he earned his way back into Parliament. Conservatives say Poilievre is likely to survive his January leadership review.
You can be sure they're not going to stack the hall with people who would be voting against Mr. Poilievre, quite the opposite. And so I think that there's not much mystery as to what the outcome will be. I suspect it could be 80% or higher approval rating.
While Poilievre has Conservative support, among all voters, he trails Mark Carney by nearly 23 points as Canadians' preferred Prime Minister in the latest polling from Nanos Research.
They're missing the moment of appealing to Canadians who want an alternative government, who are thoughtful in the moment and putting forward a truly substantive platform. And I think that's the pivot that Pierre has to make, or otherwise he will never be Prime Minister.
While most Conservatives expect Poilievre to survive his leadership test in January, they say with the instability of a parliament so close to a majority government, the questions surrounding him will continue to swirl. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
And the latest polling numbers from Nanos Research find that investing in green energy was a top priority for Canadians and Prime Minister Mark Carney's major projects agenda.
Green energy should be part of the mix and needs to be part of the mix when it comes to these major projects that the current federal government is pushing forward. Not massive support for building these pipelines, but a bit of a majority, and even a bit of a majority in the province of British Columbia, which is ground zero for these proposed new pipeline.
Investing in the country's electricity also remains a top Canadians' hopes for the nation, tied with oil pipelines as Canadians' top priority for the Major Projects Office. Well, some families heading out this holiday season may find it a little easier and cheaper to visit some of the capital region's most popular attractions. This weekend marks the return of the Canada Strong Pass, offering discounted admission for children at national museums. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now with more on how some families are using the pass so far. Josh.
Yeah, Austin, the pass runs from now until January 15th, giving families the chance to enjoy some affordable time together. Museums across the capital are seeing visitors take advantage of the Canada Strong Pass, many for the very first time. David Williamson and his family braved the snow to take little Theo to the Canada Agriculture and Food Museum.
It's great to have families spend time together, and even with the economy how it is, it's good to kind of save money and keep the family together and have something to do, so it's great.
From learning about food to dinosaurs, space, and military history, national museums in the capital region are busy this weekend as the Canada Strong Pass officially gets underway.
Canada Strong Pass.
This was actually just one of the days we decided to stop down, so we heard about the Canada Strong Pass, and that'd be great for people who want to take advantage of this great pass.
The museums are really great for our kids' development. They need to learn about Canada history, great Canadian proud.
The pass offers free admission for children up to 17 years old and reduced pricing for youth aged 18 to 24 at museums like the Canadian Museum of History, Aviation and Space Museum, and Science and Technology.
We'd like to get the kids engaged in something different and hopefully have their minds sparked on something. And we felt like this might have been a good opportunity to get them looking at different things.
Beyond Ottawa, the pass can also be used at national historic sites, galleries, and parks across the country.
That is also great news for us, that it's free, then we can go everywhere.
The program runs through the holidays, giving families like Williamson's more chances to explore Canada's culture, science, and history.
Going to these museums, they put a lot of effort there too, so it's great to see.
Now, it's not a physical pass that you need to bring to get the discounts. Simply let staff know you would like to use the Canada Strong Pass and discounts at participating national museums and sites. A link to the list of sites can be found on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Austin.
Okay, Josh, thank you very much for this. CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us tonight. And as we inch closer and closer to Christmas, festive markets are, of course, giving those last-minute shoppers a chance to scoop up some special gifts. And as CTV's Camille Wilson reports, one of those markets, all about pets.
Instead of say cheese, it's say bark. Four-legged friends created their holiday memories with Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Last year we got Mrs. Mila, we got Mila, and then we took a Santa picture. We came second year to take another picture with her as well. So we're probably going to do this every year.
Dogs, dogs, and more dogs for the third annual Pet Day at Robert Plant Greenhouse. All pets welcome to join in on the holiday market action. Soundarya Shinavasagan and Deepak Alango starting a new family tradition.
Every single year we come back and we go back with loads and loads and loads of really good treats for them. They're also really handmade and very good naturally sourced ingredients as well, which is what we love.
The holiday market filled with more than 200 local vendors with festive decor, plants, food, self-care, and even dog treats.
Would you like to try apple? Oh boy, Pet Day is the most wonderful market we have. People brings their cats, their dog. We even had a donkey this morning. Yes, a donkey. We have an artisan that sells all kinds of stuff for pets. So like little cookies for dogs or little outfits. You can find all kinds of nice stuff for pets.
Over at the EY Center, the Originals Christmas craft sale with 100% Canadian-made unique items.
I think there's an inclination to shop local and to shop made in Canada this year more than ever.
Now in its 51st year, some vendors have been around since the beginning.
We're very committed to supporting handmade and small business in Ottawa, and all of the people that shop here are as well.
200 plus artists and artisans, clothing, body care, jewelry, home decor, and more, and not one to miss.
It's a Christmas tradition. We come all the time. Every year we look forward to it.
And our daughter almost grew up at this.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Man, it must have been 35 minutes before it went from nothing on the highway to the highway was gone.
Still ahead, more on the flooding in a BC community, how the mayor of Abbotsford is now calling on the federal government for support. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It is minus 4 degrees right now. President Donald Trump says the U.S. will retaliate after 3 Americans were killed in an attack in Syria that the U.S. is blaming on the Islamic State group.
An ambush, terrible. We also have 3 wounded. They seem to be doing pretty well. But we mourn the loss. These are 3 great people. And it's just a terrible thing. Syria, by the way, was fighting along with us. The new president of Syria is, as they told me, and I'm not surprised, he's devastated by what happened. This was an ISIS attack on us and Syria. We will retaliate. Thank you very much.
2 U.S. service members and 1 American interpreter were killed in an ambush by a lone gunman. 3 other service members were wounded in the attack, and the gunman was killed, according to the U.S. Military Central Command on X. Reuters reporting the attack was a member of the Syrian security forces. The Pentagon spokesperson says the soldiers were conducting a key leader engagement when they were attacked, adding the mission was supporting an ongoing counterterrorism operation in the region. On X, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth warned, quote, "If you target Americans anywhere in the world, the United States will hunt you down and ruthlessly kill you." The U.S. is investigating the attack. In British Columbia, floodwaters that poured into Abbotsford this week are receding, but Environment Canada warns more rain is in store for the already saturated Fraser Valley. It says while rainfall is expected to taper throughout the day, another system will move into the area tonight. That will be followed by a, quote, potentially significant push of moisture on Monday and into next week. About 450 properties in BC have been evacuated, the majority of them in Abbotsford, with 1,700 more under evacuation alerts. And as flooding has forced evacuations while shutting down some farms, schools, and highways, the mayor of Abbotsford has blasted the federal government for failing to protect the Fraser Valley. Here's CTV's Andrew Johnson on how communities caught in the middle are coping under the threat of more rain.
Transportation today on the Trans-Canada through Abbotsford is by boat after a surge of floodwater.
Man, it must have been 35 minutes before it went from like nothing on the highway to the highway was gone. It was crazy.
Police say they got thousands of vehicles off the road safely, except for one driver who didn't listen.
That individual decided to go around a road closure sign and entered into a flooded area. He had to be rescued off the roof of his car.
Close to 500 businesses, homes, and farms are under evacuation order, with many more on alert. Some farmers rushed livestock out of their barns. Others weren't so fortunate, including one who says he lost 30,000 chickens.
You see the water coming up, and you do everything you can to prevent the water from getting in the barns, but at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do.
Along with heartbreak over heavy losses, there is also anger.
Why do we have to keep going through this? We know what it will take to solve it. Everybody agrees what needs to get done. It's just a matter of getting the will to do it.
Fortunately, the situation is not as awful as 2021, when flooding here was part of the most costly disaster in BC history. But the mayor is blasting Ottawa for turning down a municipal funding request related to a long-term flood mitigation plan.
Enough is enough. We need action, and we need action now. We have done everything, including almost standing on our heads, to be noticed and to be heard, and again to be disappointed by our federal government.
The Office of Canada's Emergency Management Minister tells us it is now in touch with the mayor regarding today's flooding and future proposals.
Andrew Johnson, CTV News.
From the West Coast to the East Coast in Fredericton, where police are facing scrutiny after 2 murder investigations collapsed due to mistakes by police. Now, an independent review of how things were handled has been released to the public. CTV's Sarah Plowman has more on the findings.
But this is something that never should have happened.
An admission by Fredericton's chief of police, along with another apology to the families of Corey Markey and Brandon Donnellan, 2 men murdered in 2021 and 2022. It led to 5 charges, but those trials never happened due to a police error.
The pain and disruption this has caused them and those closest to these investigations is beyond measure.
In June, charges were stayed against the 5 people accused in the murder cases due to what the Crown prosecutor called an insurmountable evidentiary issue caused by Fredericton police.
The stay of these charges shook public confidence in the criminal justice system and deprived everyone, especially the family members, of a public trial.
Police won't say what the error was, and the independent investigator who reviewed the police force says he can't provide an explanation to clear the air either.
The Canada Evidence Act and related case law prevent disclosure of this information.
What investigator Ian Scott did conclude is what happened wasn't criminal. He did not recommend criminal or disciplinary charges. In an analysis of 63 major crime and high-risk investigations in the past 4 years, Scott found overall the investigations were generally well managed until the point where they became complex. He made 19 recommendations.
These challenges reflect less on the effort of individual investigators than on the need for stronger systems, standardized practices, and enhanced oversight.
Scott made recommendations to improve police's oversight, training, and file management. The police forces accepted all of them and promised to give quarterly updates on their progress. Sarah Plowman, CTV News.
A world-changing message first crackled across the Atlantic 124 years ago, landing right on Signal Hill in St. John's. Here's CTV's Garrett Berry on how Newfoundlanders are marking the communications milestone that connected the globe.
This is Victor Oscar 1.
Even with 124 years of refinement and advancement, transatlantic radio communication is an inexact science. In searching for a prearranged message from radio operators in Cornwall in the United Kingdom, trying to recreate what Guglielmo Marconi did in 1901 here at Signal Hill, radio enthusiasts in Newfoundland heard from Austria instead.
Maybe the part that protects the signals back down to England is missing, or it's got a hole in it or something there. We don't know.
It's all part of the magic and mystery of radio that turns wires and diodes, circuits, into holiday greetings between strangers across the world.
And season's greetings and Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Back in the day, they used to use a crystal as sort of a conductor. Nowadays, we use this small little thing.
To celebrate Marconi's achievement 124 years ago, these students got a bit of hands-on time, making their own radios.
Morse code takes a really long time to write.
And seeing what they could pick up.
I think it was country.
Country, maybe like some Newfoundland music.
If you attach chords, and it's pretty easy, but if like you don't... It requires instructions.
Even though their intended message from the UK didn't quite land, there wasn't much disappointment among this group.
The look on the kids' faces when they plug their radio in and all of a sudden hear, you know, a radio station come in, it's magical.
Instead, a sense of wonder and a commitment to come back again next year for the 125th anniversary and keep the history of the achievement here alive. Garrett Perry, CTV News, St. John's.
Beautiful snowfall. We're like, yes, today we're getting to hit a tree.
How late is too late to pick up a tree? After the break, we'll take you to a Christmas tree farm as the clock ticks down to the big day and farmers prepare for that last-minute rush.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Another live look at the roads this hour. Some slick commutes and some slowdowns in parts of the city. Looking like Woodruff is seeing some slowdowns on the 417. But again, be careful out there, folks. We've got extremely cold lows tonight. So any liquid on the roads probably going to freeze in the overnight hours. Give yourself plenty of time out there. Taking a first full look at the weather forecast and expecting a little bit of snow in parts of our region to return over the overnight hours, but not a heck of a lot. Environment Canada calling for about 2 centimeters of snow, 40% chance. So it depends on where you are in the city. But we're going to start out east. 0 degrees right now in St. John's, -5 in Charlottetown, and -8 in Fredericton. We're currently sitting at -6, quickly cooling down here in the capital, getting closer to Sudbury's temperature of -12 as the night progresses. -15 in Timmins with some snow there, Thunder Bay at -20, and it's a freezing cold one around the prairies as well. Look at Regina at -23 degrees. Same with Winnipeg. Saskatoon not far off, -20, -15 in Edmonton. And how nice would it be to be in Vancouver? 11 degrees right now. They're always being spoiled if it's not raining there. This evening, -14 is the low here in Ottawa. That chance of flurries, as I mentioned. And then tomorrow's high, not warming up that much, -10, but a mix of sun and cloud, mainly sunny conditions. -19 is the low along the Ottawa Valley, and maybe a little bit more in the way of snow there, more than the 2 centimeters we expect here in the city. And then -11 is the high for tomorrow. The Seaway -14, high of -8 for tomorrow. And a quick look at the 7-day shows you that, yeah, very cold, double digits in the negatives when it comes to those overnight lows, which is what the Canal Skateway hopes to see, but certainly not this news anchor. I don't love those chilly conditions. Getting a break from that on Wednesday, a chance of flurries and some rain in the forecast. A festive day for the Prime Minister, who, after making a donation to the Toy Mountain campaign, made a stop at a Christmas tree farm in Stittsville. It comes as many families in our region are opting for the real deal over those fake trees as the countdown to Christmas continues. And CTV's Kimberly Johnson is back in studio with more. And Kimberly, some families may be cutting it close. Do they still have some options?
Yes, people I'm speaking with today say that the selection is still there, Austin. And with the day closing in, as you mentioned, one Tree Farm says that they're still seeing strong demand thanks to the festive snowy weather.
Prime Minister Mark Carney picking out a Christmas tree. The event Sunday at Fallowfield Christmas Tree Farm in Stittsville. Tanya Marchenko and her family picking out the largest tree they can find here. With just a few weeks before Christmas, they say there's still lots of options, so they chose an 8.5-foot tree.
Well, it's a struggle every year, I must say. And every year we end up with a tree that is larger than what we need, and then it's a game of, cutting and making sure it fits in a room.
She says this weekend is a great time for her family to pick it because it can be left up well into the new year.
Frankly, this year we just chose the one that we love the most.
Yeah, I don't really. It puts us in a good holiday spirit, I think. Yeah.
The farm's owner says business is booming. Last weekend, the snowy weather helped create record-breaking sales, and this weekend, hundreds more are expected.
I would say, we could probably big 400 to 500 trees will go out. So that's how many families you get. 2,000 people, 2,500. Really nice to have people come out and enjoy the farm.
He says an average 6-foot tree here costs $90 with tax. And like similar tree farms CTV News spoke to this season, the total has risen slightly over the last year.
I think maybe we're a little bit too close.
For some who get their trees this close to Christmas, the clock is ticking down.
That's a big ordeal, getting all the lights ready, but hopefully it'll definitely be up in time for Christmas. It might just be cutting it a little short.
For others, it's the perfect time of year.
Because I don't want to follow the pine needle trail on the way out in January.
Yeah, we woke up this morning, it was just like a beautiful snowfall. We're like, yes, today we're getting a hitter tree.
And the owner of the farm says the tree the Prime Minister picked out and paid will be donated and delivered to a charity at his request. Austin?
Okay, and for those families that are waiting last minute as well, I will just say, not the worst idea, because then the fresh smell is still there for Christmas. I don't know about you.
I'm doing it tomorrow.
Oh, right on. There you go.
There you go. I'm cutting down my Christmas tree tomorrow, actually.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
The whole family?
Yeah. Whole extended family.
Love it. Hey, Merry Christmas, and thank you very much for this,
Merry
Kim.
Christmas.
Tens of thousands of turkeys will also be handed out to healthcare workers across the province this weekend. It's part of an initiative put on by the SEIU Healthcare to support frontline workers over the holiday season. CTV's Beth McDonnell has those details.
It's turkey time for thousands of frontline healthcare workers across Ontario, as union SEIU Healthcare handed out free turkeys at grocery stores for the holidays. A cook at a long-term care home, Asifa Afnan, has been eagerly anticipating this day to arrive.
I'm planning to have a family feast tonight. I mean, I was planning for this for today, I think a month ago. I have everything prepared at home. It's just the turkey I'm waiting for.
While others are happy to hold on to the turkey for a little longer.
I had to roast it for the Christmas occasion in our home with my kid and my relatives. That's it. Thank you very much.
SEIU Healthcare has 70,000 members. It says it started giving turkeys during the first year of the pandemic because it noticed workers struggled accessing food.
Times are tough. Inflation has really eroded their purchasing power. And so today it's just about appreciating the fact that these hardworking, committed healthcare workers who we all appreciate and respect get something in return.
Workers who wanted a turkey signed up in the fall. In all, the union is giving 25,000 of them to families across Ontario, 2,700 here at this location in Scarborough. The workers range from cleaners to security staff and PSWs, bringing home salaries between $40,000 and $50,000 a year.
It's actually getting harder because lots of individuals are losing their jobs, right? Because the layoff. And so that is something that I'm finding that is really struggling. People are struggling emotionally. They're having a lot of stresses, financial stresses, and this is a way of kind of easing some of the pain.
How many people do you have at home? How many people are you looking after?
Four persons. So it's a big help for us.
It's a big help for many, as the turkey is often the most expensive part of a festive holiday dinner.
It was great because it's Christmas. Thank you very much for the union. Yeah, and have a happy holiday and have a Merry Christmas.
All right. Receiving families are grateful for the gift and looking forward to their special home-cooked holiday meal. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
That's still going to be a challenge for Canadian businesses, but it's doable.
Still ahead, trade tensions have motivated some to buy Canadian, but this holiday season, a new poll shows nearly half of Canadians say cost is a barrier when trying to shop within the country.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
It is now time to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
You still have lots of time to visit the Ottawa Christmas Market at Lansdowne this year. Loads of local vendors there to help you get into the holiday spirit with gifts, festive drinks, live entertainment, and lots more. This is one of my favorite markets to check out every year because it's just so much fun, and it really does a great job of getting you feeling festive. It's great for the whole family or to check out with some friends. And next up is the Magic of Lights, proudly presented by CTV and Move 100. This is a 2-kilometer drive-through with over 2 million lights, including Ontario's longest light tunnel. It's in support of CHEO and a great one to bring the family to or check out for a date night. Make sure you grab a hot drink on the way and have some fun. Lots more to do this weekend around the capital. The full list and all the details are at ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, my name's Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
It has been nearly a year since the United States started a trade war with Canada. Several months since Mark Carney's Elbows Up campaign. So the question is, are Canadians still sticking it to their southern neighbors when it comes to buying Canadian and only Canadian? CTV's Paul Hollingsworth takes a look into that question.
Sharon Spencer is in full Christmas shopping mode, and her strategy is simple.
I buy what's on sale.
Spencer tries to buy only Canadian-made products, but affordability is her primary focus.
I don't really look at the tags to see if it's from the U.S.
Spencer's not alone. A new poll from Nanos Research shows 45% of Canadians see cost as a barrier to buying Canadian goods. 33% say product availability is blocking their purchases. 32% have concerns about transparency. They don't know what products are made in Canada.
It takes a lot of effort.
Trade tensions have motivated Melanie Goldsworthy to buy only Canadian-made products this holiday season.
I do acknowledge it is difficult. It's challenging. You have to change your habits. You definitely do, because the Canadian market isn't as saturated like other markets.
Goldsworthy urges her fellow shoppers to be creative and to find ways to support homegrown businesses.
We have managed to find some amazing things for gifts that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else.
Dalhousie University professor Lauren Sheen sees an opportunity emerging for Canadian businesses to develop new strategies that target customers who want to purchase products in their own backyard.
There's a domestic market waiting for businesses that can make those kind of changes and pivots and compete against the large online retailing that we're seeing as a trend that's been increasing over the last decade, really. That's still going to be a challenge for Canadian businesses, but it's doable.
While cost, availability, and transparency are having an impact, 31% of those surveyed by Nanos said they are not experiencing any barriers when it comes to buying Canadian products. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News.
Remember last year what Hartman did to Stusla, and now he's going to have to answer to Ridley Gregg.
Going wild in Minnesota. After the break, we'll check in on the Sens, who took on the Wild in an afternoon affair. The Bell Media building is lit up. It's bigger and brighter this year thanks to our good friends at Christmas Decor from Nutrilon. Hey, we want to share some details on some of the stories that you need to know right now, primarily some of the sports stories. And to do this, we bring in CTV's Kimberly Fowler. Kimberly.
Well, Austin, we've got some NHL action this afternoon for the Ottawa Senators. They're in the middle of a 3-game road trip facing the Wild this afternoon in Minnesota.
Way back. Sanderson stand on the pass. Jurek coming penalty box. Comes towards Cousins. Rebound. Tim, score!
On the power play, Tim Stützle cuts the lead in half at the end of the second to make it 2-1 for the Wild. Now, Dylan Cousins would tie the score here in the third with a great shot there, and it looks like the game was going to go to overtime, but the Wild, they would score with just 23 seconds left in regulation. They take this one 3-2 over Ottawa. The Sens now head to Winnipeg to play the Jets on Monday.
Foster back on that puck. Throws cross ice for Ekberg. Ekberg, Rister scores!
Philip Ekberg with a one-timer that absolutely silences the home crowd in Oshawa as the 67s took on the Generals last night. Ottawa goes on to the 3-1 win, and so far this season, the 67s have won all 3 games they played against the Generals. The Barber Poles are back home for their next 5 straight games, starting tomorrow afternoon against the Windsor Spitfires. And a huge shakeup in the NHL last night. Star defenseman Quinn Hughes traded from the Vancouver Canucks to the Minnesota Wild. Now, in return, the Canucks will receive the Wild's 2026 first-round pick, center Marco Rossi, left winger Liam Ogren, and defenseman Zeev Bouillon. Rossi played 109 games for the Ottawa 67s between 2018 and 2020, and he recorded 185 points.
And now Teed again, backside. Look for Kiernan, what a touch! A soft as fallen snow, and the Teddy Bears hit the turf. It didn't take long.
Connor Kiernan netting this year's Teddy Bear toss goal during last night's Ottawa Black Bears game. Now, all the stuffed animals that are on the field there, they go on to support the Salvation Army and CTV Ottawa and Move 100's Toy Mountain. Later in the fourth quarter, the Bears, well, they would go on a tear, scoring 6 unanswered goals en route to their first win of the season, 11-8 over the Saskatchewan Rush. Ottawa will head to Vegas to face the Desert Dogs next Saturday night.
It's the food drive for the Ottawa Food Bank today. Thank you very much.
And Ottawa's largest annual single-day grocery store food drive was back for another year at the 41st OC Transpo Loblaws Holiday Food Drive. Now today from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., monetary donations and non-perishable food items were accepted at participating Loblaw locations right across the city. Last year, the drive collected over 81,000 pounds of food and raised over $25,000 in cash and food vouchers. And the drive helps ensure that there's enough to eat, especially at this time of the year when demand is at its highest.
It's always nice to see how the community comes together right around the holidays for these types of events. Obviously, the food bank has such great need. Really cool to see the CTV Your Morning food drive as well.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Did you get a chance to stop by this week?
I didn't.
A little early for us?
It was a little early and a little cold, but I did support it, and in total, $380,000 raised for the food bank.
18th year, going strong.
Yeah, so love to see it.
Gray skies are gonna clear up, put on a happy face.
Coming up, Hollywood icon is celebrating a major milestone birthday, plus we'll take a recap of the top local stories. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It continues to cool down, -7 right now.
Tonight, flooding fears in BC far from over, even as the waters begin to recede.
We're at the mercy of nature.
How another round of rain has thousands on alert in the Fraser Valley. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now.
Very exciting. It was super cool to have the Prime Minister in our home away from home.
The Prime Minister steps up with support for CTV and Move 100's Toy Mountain campaign, now in its final week for that festive fundraiser.
Beautiful snowfall. We're like, yes, today we're getting a tree.
Christmas tree farms in our region expecting a rush of shoppers in the final days before the big day.
Canada's strong pass.
And Canadian families interested in taking in some of Canada's national museums will be able to save a few bucks this holiday season. The return of the Canada Strong Pass. One last look at the weather forecast in your wake-up weather. Spoiler alert, cold. -14, mostly sunny conditions, though, so a bit of a break from the snow. We will take that, but then likely seeing those flurries return on Monday, 60% chance, and very cool in the overnight hours until we get to about Wednesday. High of 2 degrees on Wednesday, 4 degrees on Thursday. Finally for us tonight, a Hollywood legend has reached an incredible milestone.
Yeah, today, actor Dick Van Dyke is celebrating his 100th birthday.
The funniest thing is, it's not enough. 100 years is not enough. You want to live more, which I plan to.
Van Dyke is best known for his starring role on the Dick Van Dyke Show, of course, and in the 1964 film Mary Poppins. He's won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards, a Tony Award, and a Grammy over the course of his career. Van Dyke was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame in 1995. He says the key to staying healthy is hitting the gym 3 times a week.
Looks good for 100 years old, I gotta say.
I mean, if you make it to 100, you're just gonna look good for 100.
Exactly.
Like the bar is, I mean, where is the bar?
Yeah.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
My dad always said if he ever makes it to 100 years old, what he's gonna do is say something ludicrous like, oh, I eat a pine cone every morning. And then hope that someone follows his advice. So I hope he gets there.